Alright, let's talk about personal car upkeep. So basically, the expense related to your cars. And you know what? It's one of the biggest gray area in all of the non-deductible personal expense. A lot of nuanced thing here. So let me give you a really detailed explanation. So the key point here is about how to distinguish from personal as well as business use. Okay? Just like all these other expenses that like you might want to like gently nudge towards the business use, but in fact it's your personal use. The automobile is one of the like most common mistakes that I see. Okay? Let me break it down. How to distinguish, right? And what not to do. So basically, personal and business use is it's just a dividing line here. So for example, if you say you driving to the grocery store, right? You pick up your kids, okay, and that's a huge part of everyday automobile related expenses. And for example, you drive to the vacation, come on, road trip, okay. You know what? That's 100% personal, and it's definitely not deductible. Don't use like reimburse all these expenses as a deductible, because that's absolutely no negotiable personal expenses, right? So, but on the contrary, so for example, if you like to meet the client and you drive to meet the client, right? That's absolutely business necessary, right? Deductible. You deal. So for example, you own a startup, you build some of the hardware, right? Like AI related hardware. It's still in the testing phases, but you know what? You want to deliver the product to your client, to your investor, or whatever. Deliver the products is of course is the deductible because it's a business related activity. And what about you got like you got multiple business locations. You go from one office to another, or you want to visit some client, you meet some client, right? You drive from your office to the client's place. That's definitely business expense, so it's deductible. And preferably you got like a multiple cars, right? This car for business, this car is for personal use. Okay, that's the absolute amazing choice, and it will save you a lot of hassle. But what if you got an amazing car, but that the same car can be used for both personal and business purpose? You know what? It can actually be used that way. Ours do allow you to do that. They're not like force you to buy like two cars if you own a company. This is a company's car. This is your car. You know what? I have known a lot of small business owners, a lot of startups just got one car. They even like started the company inside the garage. And you know what? This is totally acceptable. But here's the thing: the RS want you to separate them. So basically, it's a typical same car, different purpose kind of separation. You need to draw the line. Let me just give you an example. So let me tell you the story. I got a client that run a very successful bakery, but it's more starting from like a family kitchen sort of a bakery, and she most of the time doing this business online. Okay, and you know what? Using her as an example, let me just give you a taste of how complex and how much of a gray area that I need to like tread really carefully. Let me show you. So for example, because she runs a bakery, so basically she go to say Costco to get all this supply for her bakery, and also she personally go to Costco to shopping, right? to go to buy like I don't know milk, cereal, snacks, all that. Okay, what about if you get I give you like a really simple scenario, you might think that's too simple. For example, she go to Costco for her personal expense, and then she drives the car. Of course, she drive car to Costco, and then she drive the car to I don't know specific package making supplier that supply the wrapper for her bakery, something like that. Okay, or some ingredients for her bakery. You know what? That's a separate trip, okay? Even though she's driving the same car, separate trip, So you can like say the trip to Costco is for personal use, non-deductible. Trip to specific supplier, that's a business use, and all this like it's business expense deductible, or the mileage and all that. But that's how basically the reality practice clash with the regulation, and basically you need to tread this water really carefully, because my client actually drive just to go to Costco, right? There's no, come on, it's a family kitchen. Do not have a specific supplier for her material, right? So she, in order to save a little bit of money, right? She drove the car to Costco, right? And it's the mixed purpose trip. So basically, she buys, say, like bakeries like flour, sugar, packaging, and all that. You know what? Costco got all sort of thing, and she bought everything in Costco. But you know what? Since she already at the Costco and she drive all the way to the Costco, right? Why not buy some family groceries? Right? That's basically most people, reasonable people, will do to save money, right? So I don't know, she buy milk, cereal, and snacks and all that. Maybe some like dog food, whatever. You know what? Personal expense, obviously, but that's the tricky part. Because RS said that the same car, different purpose must separate carefully. But what about, say, one trip is the mixed purpose? Okay? Okay. I want you to pause a little bit, using your pause the video a little bit, using your just mind to just reason this, like think it through, and see how you should do, and then you unpause this. I'm going to explain this to you. Okay, did you get it? Really simple, because using your like common sense. Yeah, you may feel strange. Common sense, come on, but you think about it. That's tax law applied for everyone. Okay, so basically you need to like make sense, right? For everyone to be, happily accept that this is a law. They have to make sense. They're not like actively thinking it through, like solving some really crazy mathematical problem. So use your common sense, and you most likely to reach the same conclusion as the IRS regulation. So that really depends on the primary purpose of your trip. Okay, just let me just separate this for you. So for example, you go to the Costco, right? So basically you got like a two most like cost for this trip. One is for this like mileage, right? So you drive the car, you cost petrol, right? You cost I don't know, electricity if you're like using the EV cars, right? Those as a mileage do matter. The second thing is the actual cost that you bought at the Costco. Okay, so basically like the two things. So if the primary reason is for business purchase, right? That is a deductible for the mileage plus all these business purchases, because all that is for your business, right? Primary, you drove all the car all the way to the Costco, buy most of the like 19-18% of the thing, but you just pick something that snack that you may eat when you watch, say, Netflix. Okay, that is the main reason for this. It's a business trip, and you can deduct mileage. You can deduct the business purchase. Okay, you still, come on, you still can't like write off some of the snacks from your company's books. You can't do that. So basically, remember I said two things. One for the mileage. If its main purpose for that business for that trip is a business trip, right? Business trip, business drive all the way from your office, right, all the way to Costco, right? You can deduct mileage, and of course you can deduct the business purchase. You still can't like deduct the personal purchase. This is like a mixed use. But remember, I pause a little bit because I did not say a specific scenario where you got like a home office. Okay, we will talk about that in detail because it got overcomplicated, especially for like small companies, for small business owners. They start up like really small. They got a lot of things that are mixed up. So yeah, I got tons of clients that actually just start a company for 1 or 2 years and then start like generates a like a sizable revenue, and then they realize, oh, I this company can actually make money, but I want to like keep that money, continue to flow, so need to like obey the law, and that are missing a lot of things, so they want to like just make the whole company look better. But that's another story. That's another story. Let's focus on this. Okay. So what about is mainly is I forgot to bought some chips for my Netflix binge watching night. Okay. So I'll drive to Costco. Oh, I remember. I also got a side gig of my bakery business. Okay. That is obviously the main reason for you go there is to buy the chips, okay? And then you just buy a little bit of the say flour and sugar, something like that. And you just you know, the main purpose for you to go there is to buy some chips, okay? That's obviously a personal main reason, okay? And you know what? You still can deduct the business purchase. Remember, you don't mix things up. Even though there's like specific scenarios, say, hey, oh, this is personal expense, this is like this is a personal main purpose, this is a personal main purpose of business. Doesn't really matter. You still need to separate your purchase. I'm going to explain this later, but you just need to know you deduct only the business purchase. So, for example, you buy like 10 bags of chips, okay, but you still buy 1 bag of say flour or sugar or packaging, okay, you can deduct that portion of your purchase because that is really for your business, okay. But you know what, because the main reason for you drive all the way, remember we're talking about automobile, right, you drive all the way your car to the Costco, right, that mileage is not deductible, okay. So as simple as that. So basically, I think the main difference between the personal main reason of is for business or for personal is about whether you can deduct the mileage, but you still need to always separate when you pay for your business or you need to pay for your personal use.